Everybody, welcome to Jacob's Quest, and today we just finished watching episode 8 of Marvel's What If? And look, it's gonna be a full spoiler review, obviously, so go watch the show, come back, watch this. And I don't want to say that this is when the show, got good, necessarily. The show has had plenty of highlight points in the past, okay? But there has been this growing general consensus that I've seen online, and I do partially agree with it, that it felt like this show is kind of just sitting here spinning its wheels, based on the trailers before the show came out and on some of the trailers that they've released after, like in the mid-season trailers. We knew that, just based on a handful of clips, that these characters were supposed to cross over. We knew that some of these characters were going to meet each other. We're kind of assuming that there's going to be like this overarching storyline because of that, right? And that just has not, up until this point, come to fruition. They're just like, every episode has been a new what if, a new world, a new self-contained story. And we have just kind of been waiting, for something to happen, because where's this crossover? Where's this overarching event? Where's this these major multiversal things with consequences, right? And I've been definitely growing there. I've been definitely okay, we're approaching the end. There's only 9 episodes in this season. And, especially the last couple episodes, we're on episode 6, we're on episode 7. When is something going to happen? So I definitely started feeling that. And a lot of people have. And a lot of people have kind of, backed away from this show because of that. Because it's does any of this matter? Is something going to happen? But this is that episode. This is now definitely that episode. So last episode, it ended with, we had Party Thor, and I thought it was a really, really fun episode. I enjoyed it a lot. But, again, it was something gonna, happen here. And it ended with a portal opening and Ultron/Vision with all the Infinity Stones popping up. And it seemed completely unrelated to that world's story. And so I was like, okay, this is it. Here we go. And sure enough, here it is. So basically, we get this entire episode is the setup to that moment. This is essentially the background as to hey, what if Ultron won? And the usual stuff happened where it's okay, Ultron beat all the Avengers and the world ended and all the Avengers died basically, except for Natasha and Clint. Which has been kind of par for the course for this show is, oh, the Avengers died again, which I guess the point they're trying to nail home is that if events had been altered even just a tiny bit, all the Avengers would die and the world would end. I think that's basically the point, is that every single movie that we know in our main continuity is a real close call, because we've seen how many times the world ends and how many times the Avengers die in the multiverse. But yeah, basically Ultron, he beats the Avengers, and then we see, and I think this is going to be another moment of are they kind of nerfing Thanos here? Because in the movies, Thanos is this huge deal and he's very difficult to deal with, but Thanos shows up in a portal and Ultron in his Vision body immediately just zaps him in two with the Mind Stone. And this is a Thanos who already had several of the Infinity Stones. Now, we don't know that story as to how he collected those stones. He seemed to already have the Time Stone, which is did he kill Doctor Strange? What happened there? I don't know. That's, again, more questions as to how exactly did that version of Thanos have all those stones? And I guess it doesn't really matter, but it is more questions, because how did this result from Ultron winning? Maybe Doctor Strange died from an Ultron or something, and the stone was just sitting there, so Thanos just took it. I don't know. In any case, Ultron in his Vision body just zaps Thanos in two, literally just splits him down the middle, and he falls in 2 pieces with one zap. And there's not even a fight or anything, and Thanos is taken care of, and then that's how he gets all the Infinity Stones. I can see some people might be having a problem with that, because it's that's it. So Vision, our Vision, could have done that at any time. I mean, he was kind of incapacitated during the entire events of Infinity War, but I don't know. It's like, okay, so he could have just done one good zap and kind of taken care of business. I don't know. That's interesting. That's just interesting. It kind of, they've never displayed Vision's laser beam to be like, you know, it's always been like a laser beam, but it's never been like an instant death beam, you know, like usually people are able to kind of push back against it or something. But okay, I guess that's, you know, that's how we're saying it works in this version. Anyways, he gets the Infinity Stones, he goes from world to world, he kills like every planet. It's super easy, by the way. Basically, once he gets the Reality Stone, he just creates endless Ultron bots. So that he takes out Asgard, he takes out Sakaar, he takes out every single planet that we know of in the galaxy. He takes out the Guardians of the Galaxy. Him and Carol have a brief fight, but you know, he's still proves to be like strong enough to take her out, which, you know, as we've seen, she's, you know, she can fight Thor all day long. So it's like, you know, she was pretty much the last line of defense, and now she's taken out. And then he's like, oh, I did it, there's nothing left to do. And then we see this awesome moment, which this is, to me, this is when the episode actually starts. This is when the episode really begins to like, okay, now we're getting into some real shit. The Watcher's sitting there describing how Ultron was done with his mission, and he contemplated how there's nothing left for him to do, you know, that kind of like, oh, there's no more worlds to conquer kind of thing. And then Ultron's like, wait, who said that? And he turns around and Vision's like, wait, what? And then no, I'm sorry, not Vision, the Watcher. The Watcher's like, wait, what? And the Watcher, he's like, he goes back to his like in between multiverses, mirror dimension looking portal realm, and he's like, oh my god, he saw me, I can't let this monster be released. And so he even tries to like help Clint and Natasha find a way to beat him in his own universe by getting Zola, because remember, Zola is his own AI that he created from Winter Soldier. So it turns out there's still a Zola program somewhere, and they try to get him to stop Ultron by hacking into one of his bots, but it's like, oh, Ultron, the main hive mind, the main Ultron is already out of this universe, so he can't reach him. And it's because Ultron has now broken through the, I don't know what you would call it, the multiversal mirror dimension prism barrier between all multiverses, or you know, it looks like the mirror dimension, so I don't know how else you would describe it, but he breaks through there, he fights with the Watcher, and so now you have Infinity Ultron versus the Watcher, and they go at it, and it's really awesome. And to me, this was the fight scene, you know, and it's just, they're punching and breaking through all these different barriers. Every single time the Watcher gets hit, it like the reality morphs around him to a different multiverse world, and that was really fascinating to see. And yeah, it was just really cool, you know. For a minute there, it looked like the Watcher like could handle this, and then it really quickly turned out to like, no, he's about to die. And so he runs away, and at the last minute we see him, basically he approaches the evil Doctor Strange, who's been in his own little tiny little cage, his, you know, completely alone in his own universe, because he basically destroyed his. And the Watcher's like, okay, I need your help. You know, and the thing is, like, he down to the last minute, he's like, I can't break my oath, you know. Even when he was like desperately trying to get Clint to see the file where Zola was, he's like, come on, it's right there, you know. He was like thinking about breaking his oath, but he never did it because they found the file in time. But here at the last minute, he has no other choice. He's like, okay, I'm breaking my oath, I need your help, evil Doctor Strange. And that's my thing. It's like, this evil Doctor Strange, I don't know how evil he is necessarily. Like, he doesn't seem to be acting evil, you know. He still seems to be acting like Doctor Strange. So I don't know, maybe it's okay to team up with the guy for now, unless he gets corrupted by all those demons that he absorbed, right? But in any case, yeah, this is it. This is like, we have one episode after this, and now we have the Watcher breaking his oath, teaming up with the evil Doctor Strange to try and take on this Infinity Ultron. I don't know how else you would describe him. I'm going to say Infinity Ultron. And basically, yeah, Infinity Ultron's going to go from multiverse to multiverse, just cleaning up. His version of peace is just to destroy everything. So that's basically what he's going to do. So I think we can safely assume that, as we saw at the end of last episode, where Bro Thor, like, he's like, what? What's this portal? I think we can safely assume that he was quickly destroyed, and that version of the world is now gone. Like, there's no way he survived that long, unless Bro Thor shows up again, which I think he actually might. So maybe he gets saved at the last second. But yeah, this is interesting. Like, now it feels like the show has finally reached where it was going this whole time, which, obviously, like, yeah, we're one episode away from the ending, so of course it is. I guess my only thing is that, like, I'm happy that we're finally here and that we're finally going to this overarching story, and all these worlds that we've been meeting all season long are finally gonna, like, show back up, and it's like, okay, this is the big payoff. I guess my only thing is, like, I wish what would have helped this, and I think what would have helped a lot of people, because a lot of people are starting to feel like, okay, is something gonna happen? I think what they should have been doing is maybe having, like, every other episode show him talking to that Doctor Strange, show him contemplating, like, should I be saving people? Should I be actually doing something? Because I'm just sitting here watching. And who did he make this oath to anyways? Like, who was it? Just like the one above all? Is that who he made the oath to? Like, what happens if he breaks it? Nothing. So it's interesting. It's all very interesting. I feel like maybe it could have been done a little bit earlier, tried to build up some of these connections, but I'm happy that we're here. Maybe I should just be grateful that, like, okay, we're finally doing it. But yeah, it feels like if especially if this last episode lands, we're gonna look back on this entire season 1 and say, oh, okay, this, suddenly the show went from, like, maybe like a 6 out of 10 to like a 9, like immediately jumps because of the big payoff. And that's how much an ending can do for a season of a TV show. I think about Mando season 2, which I think that whole season was like, it's like, okay, some episodes were like a 7, some episodes were like an 8, and then that ending, it's like, okay, no, this whole season's a 10, it's amazing, it's the best season ever. So if this pays off, if this works out, Marvel's What If, the TV show, will go from this thing that people are starting to kind of get tired of to this amazing thing. And I'm excited now. I'm genuinely excited for the ending. I do think that they should have started sprinkling in some of these elements a little earlier, maybe around like episode 5, episode 6, they could have started, like, oh, he's gonna start talking to Doctor Strange more and more. He's gonna start wondering, like, should I be breaking this oath? Should I interfere? I could save everyone right now. I don't know. It feels like they could have pushed that a little bit earlier, and it would have, like, basically reassured people that, like, yes, this is all going somewhere. This is all gonna, like, it's something's gonna happen here. Don't just think that they're just gonna keep introducing new worlds and then it ends. In any case, I really like this. I really like this. There's still some questionable things, like the Thanos thing. It's like, could Thanos really have been dealt with that easily this whole time? In one episode, Thanos was just talked out of it by Black Panther. He was just talked out of being Thanos. Like, okay. And then now this episode, it's like he's just zapped in half, just cut in half immediately, like, no problem. So it does kind of feel like some of these elements are being, almost comedically nerfed a little bit. It's like, was Thanos really that big of a threat if he could have been cut in half or just talked out of it? Like, I don't know. Now it's kind of questionable. And what of zombie Thanos? I wonder if that's gonna come back up, because that ends with him almost getting all the stones. Now, I don't expect zombie Thanos to be, as intelligent as Infinity Ultron here, so maybe that's never gonna get picked up again and he just messes up his own world and he never breaks out. But in any case, I really enjoyed this, and I love how just the moments when he's first breaking out, or when he's first noticing the Watcher, and it was just really cool. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Let me know, did this episode change your opinion of this show in its entirety? Like, we all knew that the crossover, the overarching event was gonna happen eventually, but now that it's here, now that you've seen how it's playing out, has this changed your opinion of the show? Like, has this like drastically gone up a couple points, yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next episode. Bye.